So for the first one, it says, what is the A value? A is whatever's in front of the X squared, B is whatever's in front of the X, C is the leftover number. It goes A, B, C. So which one of those numbers do you think is A?
4.
4, very good. A is 4. Is that positive or negative? Positive, so it will open up. That's all that there is to that. You just look at whatever's in front of the X squared. These, you're going to have to watch me point to it because I don't have a better explanation than, hey, look, this is the answer. So you're going to have to look. The vertex is the center point. That's this one. Do you see the one I'm pointing at? All right, so what would the coordinates for that point be? -3, -4. Good. This one right here, the center, or the low point. All right, x-intercepts. There are 2 of them. Can anyone give me one of them? -5. -0. Good. And then the other one is -1, 0. Cool. Y-intercept, that's this one right here. Well, it's right here. Do you see what I'm, you have to kind of look and watch me point to it because that's the best explanation I have. So where is the Y-intercept?
0, 5.
Yep, 0, 5. Domain is an automatic answer. What is the domain? Yeah, XER, it's all reals. It goes left and right forever, so it's going to be everything. I think you were giving me the range over here. Range. Look, do you see where this stops?
Yeah.
-4. Do you want everything above -4 or below -4? Above. So it's going to be Y is greater than or equal to -4. Just draw that line on your paper and it'll show you exactly where it is. Okay. This instructions for the next one says state the solutions. You have to know what that word means. It means x-intercepts. So you're going to type these in the calculator and look for the x-intercepts. For right now, I just want you to watch. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to type in that first one. X squared plus 3x minus 4. Are you looking? This is all you have to do. What's the first one? -4 and 1. Just write down that on your paper. -4 and 1. That's literally all that there is to that. This one, there is one more step before you can type it in because it has to equal 0. So like this one, I just had f of x equals, it just was already like all on one side equals 0. For this one, you would have to subtract over that 16. So it's -x squared minus 10x minus 16 equals 0. You have to slide that, write that down. You have to slide that over. If it doesn't equal 0, you're not going to get the zeros. I'm going to share my screen again and go type that one in. You literally just type it in, click on the x-intercepts. So what was it? -x squared minus 10x minus 16. Are you looking? Because this is all that there is to this. Where's this first one? -8 and -2. Just write those down on your paper. -8 and -2. To review, you can have 2 x-intercepts, or you can have 1, or you can have none. That's it. Those are the only options. 2, 1, or 0. All right, here we're going to draw some of our own graphs. We want our solutions, and again, that means x-intercepts to be -1 and 3. So you're going to put a point right there at -1, point right there at 3. So go ahead and put points at -1 and 3. Again, solutions means x-intercepts. The other words for that are roots or zeros. Basically, if they ask you anything about a quadratic, assume they mean x-intercepts because that's likely what they're asking you about. All right, and then we're given the vertex is 1, 4. So you're going to plot that point as well. And then basically just connect it. It's a U shape. That's all that there is. You're plotting the points that you're told to put, and it should be a U shape. Let's try it again. We're going to plot 2, 0 right here. And then 6, 0. So those are your x-intercepts. This is really difficult, right? So count to 2 and count to 6. All right, and then your vertex is 4, -1. So right there. And again, just it's a U shape, so just connect them and make it be a U shape. Do you guys remember what the U shape is called? Sounds kind of like a disease. Parabola, good. All right, and then last one of these. There aren't any x-intercepts. So that means you cannot touch the x-axis. It's like the floor is lava, okay? Just don't touch the x-axis. Your vertex is -3, -2. So we're going to plot that. That'll be right there. -3, -2. And then how will I draw it to make sure it doesn't touch the x-axis? It's going to have to go down. This is the vertex. So it would have to do something like this. You cannot touch the x-axis. It can touch the y-axis, it would have to, but it can't touch the x-axis. Like the floor is lava. Cool so far? I'm going to hand you a piece of paper that looks remarkably like this later on this blog. All right, use the following equation for 8 through 10. What should I do with this so that I can see it? Put it into Desmos. All right, I'm going to share my screen. You guys are going to have to just watch. All right, -2x squared plus 13x plus 5. There we go. Can you all see that okay? Let me move this over. All right, what's our first question there? The value of the x coordinate of the vertex. Well, let me click on the vertex. That's this point here. What is the x number for that? Good. Write that on the blank. 3.25. And then what does it represent? Now, this is a ball that goes up and comes back down. I'll show you the picture again. What does that 3.25 represent? And look at your choices there. It takes 3.25 seconds for it to get there. So it's the time it takes to get to that maximum height. Now look at 9. Y coordinate of the vertex. I still have it clicked on right here. Our y coordinate is this one. So put that on your paper, 26.125. And what does that represent? Now that's the maximum height. So it made it to 26 point whatever feet or meters or yards or whatever it was. And then number 10 is when the ball hit the ground. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you seasick. I just have to keep on sharing the screen here. When the ball hits the ground, I'm going to click right here. Do you see that? Yeah, we'll round to 6.9, or you can say 6.864, whatever. 6.864 seconds. I'm just going to write all the decimal. But you just click on that part of the parabola and it'll give you the answer. We all good? All right, now these last two are what we did last time. If you weren't here, this is the two of you, just extra pay attention. This comes from the calculator, okay? Everybody else, I'm gonna ask you what buttons to press. Let me clear this out, I have to start with it empty. What button do I press to get the whole party started to enter all? Plus, good, you're gonna hit plus, table, perfect. All right, now you're gonna have to just sit tight while I enter all these. I think I made them all the even numbers. All right, and then 1, 3, 6, 5, 9, 10, 12. Okay. Now you're going to hit the magnifying glass. And yes, is it a line or is it a U shape? And it's basically a line. So for letter A, you can circle linear. So if it's linear, you're going to come down to this box right here and type y equals mx plus b. And you're going to be like, hey, it didn't show up. That's because there's two things you have to change. Okay, we have to put ones. And then do you see how it draws the line in? Good. Squiggly line, the little tilde. Once you get it right, it will draw it in. Do you see how it drew it in? Once you get it right, it'll draw it in. Now, these are your numbers. Do you see these right here? I'll write them on the board so that when I stop sharing, we can still see them. Do you see how it just shows up? M equals 0.89. I'll just call that 0.9. B is negative 0.6. Do you guys see that? I just pulled it from the calculator. We're gonna go back to our paper and write with those numbers in. Y equals 0.9x minus 0.6. It's y equals mx plus b. It didn't end up being plus b because b came out to a negative number. But how much work did we do for that?
Not much at all.
No, you have to button push though. All right, and then let me share one more time for this one.
Y.
We're gonna come down here and read on your paper. It says x equals, so I'm gonna type x equals 15. Now, sometimes you have to move this graph around to find the intersection, but you find the intersection and click on it. And let me clarify, because this was a little bit of an issue last time. Your answer's not the 15. We typed in the 15. Your answer's the other part. 12.8 is the answer, okay? So these are no work questions, but you have to know what buttons to press. Now, let's try the last one, and you guys are doing a great job staying with me here, so just keep that up for this last question. You have to clear this all out and start over to make it work. Now, I think I kept all the X's the same to try and make this a little bit easier here. So 13, 16, 18, 21, 19, 15, 10. We're gonna hit the magnifying glass, and do you see how that's a U shape? Okay, so you're gonna circle quadratic. And when you come down here, yes, it is a different formula. It's not y equals mx plus b. Does anyone remember it? Ax squared plus bx. No, you won't be provided that. It's ax squared plus bx plus c. It's an x squared and then an x and then a number. Now you have to make the same changes. So I'm going to go back and change the equal to a tilde. And you have to put ones after the x's and the y. Once you get it correct, it'll draw it in. Do you see how it did that? Now I'm going to write the A, B, and C on the board until it shows up. Then you're right. Once you get it, once it shows up, then you know you're correct. All right, so I'm just getting these from the calculator. A is negative 0.2. B is 3.6. C is 6. Weirdly, that came out to a nice whole number. All right. And I'm going to go back to the paper and we're going to just write that down. Y equals negative 0.2 what? Good, x squared plus 3.6x plus 6. It's an x squared, an x, and a number, A, B, C. That's not that hard, okay? And then for this last one, we're going to go back and type in x equals 1. Again, sometimes you have to move this around to find the intersection, but look right here. And the answer's not the 1. That was like throwing people off last time. We typed in the 1. Your answer's the other part. So our answer, if you rounded that to one place, 9.4, good job.